Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So this week for you, we've got a new, hunters. So it's a new kind of way to play Crossheart, right? While not actually being Crossheart in itself, the Hunters deck is very much its own new, like, whole mechanic and how the deck plays out is very different from what we're used to for Crossheart. In fact, most of it actually doesn't even cross over, no pun intended, with Crossheart. So we actually got two different builds for you today. We've got the yellow-green build using Arashidramon Superior Mode as well as Quartzmon with Astamon teched in there, versus the red-black package. So, of course, they both use the purple package in their own unique ways. One of them uses the purple tamer, what is their name? The Ryoma, and the other one, the red-black one, uses the Tagiru. So, while they both are still in their own ways a hunter deck, they are built very differently with the basic same end goal in mind. Both of them are going into Superior Mode, Arashidramon Superior Mode, not Cross 7. So Arashidramon Superior Mode as well as Quartzmon, but their package to get there is very different. So we just wanted to kind of throw the two decks at each other and just kind of see how they performed. Also, don't forget this month's memory marker is Demi Marimon here. This is handmade out of clay, hand-painted as well by my wife, Digimiyu. Fantastic little memory marker. Got the flames there. Been begging her for about a year to make this guy. Definitely has a whole lot of detail. He's got a little clear flight stand there to help keep him aloft above some broken lava flats there. Very cool memory marker. This is our featured memory marker for Patreon this month, but you can also find it on Patreon, on her Patreon, link in the description below. Also there you can find all of her previous memory markers that we've featured on the channel in the past for her. All right, here we go. So bear with me as I suffer through these names here. So we see the red player playing out the Tagiru, kicking it over to myself here, playing the green-yellow deck. If we have any misplays, please let us know here. These we are still learning. Both of us playing the Monimon because that is pretty much the one you want to go with. On deletion, draw one because you have to have saving mechanic because most of the cards don't have cross. Here we're going to see Watchmaker come down. So this is going to be a get to add something with save and then also something a hunter. So you're going to be able to pick up a tamer basically in any of the other cards, which is really strong. Then picking up that Arashidramon. We're going to see him go ahead and promote up that Akakimon here, which is a pretty solid include here. Does not have a save mechanic, but has a really nice inheritable though of a -2 when -2k when attacking. But just gonna hit into the yellow tamer here. So the yellow tamer is going to give a -2k on one of the opponent's Digimon. At the beginning of the turn, you can slide in a something with save underneath her to get -2k to opponent. The green one gives a +2k buff if you slide something underneath him. So here we're seeing the yellow give that -2k there. We are promoting up our, I believe that's the Drakmon. Yeah, so on play, you can trash up to 3 tamer cards to draw 1 card for each tamer. He can Digicross down to make him a 2-play cost. And then just Digivolving here into the Arashidramon, so you end up suspending a tamer for everyone that you suspend and slide underneath a source from underneath them. You reduce the Evo cost, and that's how it's different. So normally we're used to reducing like play costs and things like that. This time around, though, we are reducing Evo costs on our save Digimon. So very, very interesting. So debating, what if we should Evo or not. So, but no, just going to swing over here. He saves himself, and then with the new mechanic, you don't only save yourself, but also you then take something from your trash to save as well. And then attempting Watchmaker, but it is not. I was thinking it was 4 sources. No, it's 4 different tamers. To use Watchmaker to give that security attack +1, which basically is a sign that we have a Arashidramon Superior Mode in hand here. But if we had had one more yellow source, we actually could have killed that Arashidramon of his without actually swinging over it, just with the minus, just from all the inheritables that we have here. Purple ones are pretty much all standard draw one, besides the Monimon, which is on deletion specifically. The other ones are just when attacking. I think the green ones are pretty much standard for a 2K buff. Yeah, the Drakmon there, and then the Yaziamon. Yeah, both of those are a plus 2K, and the yellows are all minus 2K. And then the red inheritables for our red-black opponent over here, they delete something with 4K or less. So if you can work in the yellow and red together, which they don't really like to work, because a lot of the level 4s, they're on plays, play out specific tamers. It's either you're playing out the yellow and green, or you're playing out the black and red. So they don't really cross over all that well, unfortunately. But in pre-release, it was super, super spicy there. So our Psychmon coming down here. So Digicross to make it a 2-play cost. And then you can take one of the sources underneath your tamer and add it to hand there. So really great for cycling over and over and over. So Psychmon's great for that. Again, we're going to see the Arashidramon Evo here, and then reduce that Evo by 1 because he's got the Taiki there. Only one source available, though. Or else he could have suspended the Toguro as well. But he was able to keep it on his turn, though. Let's say the black inheritables, I believe, are all pretty much standard. Yeah, they're blocker. The Chumon, as well as the Damemon here, they give blocker while you have save in your text. And then, so instead of swinging, he's going to go straight into the superior mode. And then the superior mode on Digivolve will place one of your opponent's Digimon underneath the tamer. And it's like for every... I'll go ahead and pull it up so I don't misquote here. For each tamer you have in play, you can, with a different color, increase the maximum level that can be chosen by 1. And it starts out at level 3. So he has 2 different colors, so he can take that level 3 up to a level 5, and that's how he could bottom deck the superior mode. Now, he did pass turn without attacking, though. So he could have attacked first, but he didn't have the jamming from like a Clockmon, which there we see the Clockmon coming down. So it's a solid searcher. 4 play costs here, searcher. That Clockmon is blocker innately, has save, and then gives jamming to all your saves. So reveal 3, add 2 Digimon with save in their text and different colors on that Clockmon search, so you can't pick up duplicates. But he's going to kicking it back over to his side there. So it looks like we got our full field of different colors here, which means our Watchmaker will be online for giving us security attack, so we can really start popping off now. I would say, though, just in my opinion, I think the red-black package is superior just because I like their tamers better. The Taiki, you put a source under, you draw a card. It instantly replenishes the source in hand, which I think is really important. And the black one, the U, he gives you an extra memory. So with Toguro putting you at 3 and the black tamer like pumping you up to 4, or however many you have on field that you want to put sources under, giving you tons of memory to make huge plays, I think is super powerful. So here he's just kind of debating which play to go into here. He does have the, he might have missed that, the Damemon. I might have just been overlooking it. But when Digivolving or on play, you reveal the top 3 of your deck. You can play a Taiki, Yu, or Toguro among them without paying the cost, which is really strong. So here we're going to go ahead and block because he's going to minus 2k on our Clockmon with the first yellow source. And if he attacks with the Damemon, he'll minus 2k again and will die before we ever get a block. So might as well block that first hit here while we're still at 2k and go ahead and save. So we stop at least one hit coming through that was going to hit regardless. And then the Damemon going to go ahead and swing in there as well, hitting into a second Clockmon. And then here we're going to see that Psychmon coming down here for 2 play cost. I'm not sure if he's going to add or not. He might not need to. Looks like he is going to go ahead and pick up that Astamon here. Really strong card. One of the plays I really like to do though is go into the Arashidramon for 0 and it has rush and you immediately attack. So it's like 2 play cost rookie Evo. Yeah, it's so strong. And here we're gonna see that Quartzmon getting added to hand. And so end of turn gets to swing again with that superior mode, and then it will reboot here. So pretty strong card. I believe it's the Damemon that gives the reboot, or Ganemon. Yeah, Ganemon gives a reboot there. So with the other black sources giving you blocker, it's a pretty strong combo. Here we're going to see that Ryoma, he has less than 2 sources underneath, so he can grab anything from trash and slot it underneath, which is pretty strong. Here we're going to see the Psychmon here coming down, which immediately will grab that source back to hand, which is really, really powerful. I like that combo a lot. Ryoma is kind of an awkward one to play out, though. You kind of want to tech her into, or tech him into both. It is a boy. We had a Wikipedia it just to verify, because I wasn't sure. So here we're going to see the Arashidramon coming down. So suspend 2 to reduce it to a 0 Evo cost. Sliding in the jamming as well as the minus 2k. So we've got 2 yellow sources. So it'll be a minus 4k when attacking, which is really strong. Or we can minus 2 separately. We were like kind of awkward, though. We kept kind of missing our timings on when to put slot sources underneath. Like the minus 2k on the yellow tamer is pretty solid, so I mean I could really pack it up. So we're gonna minus, I believe, 2k on the Psychmon to kill it, and then the other 2k is gonna go on the superior mode, which thankfully it has reboot, but it does not have blocker. Make sure that Gumdramon gets trashed. Don't want to miscommunicate. And then, yeah, using the Watchmaker to give security attack +2 because we got jamming, which is really strong. And unfortunately, I do make a big misplay coming up at this. I believe it's at this point. I was confused on Astamon. I even read it multiple times. So here we're going to Evo for 1 cost into the another Arashidramon. Debating the swing here. There's probably no reason not to, I don't think. I mean, we already have one that survived, so might as well swing again to get another check. Unfortunately, we've already used our security attack +1. We do draw for our Psychmon as well as our superior mode inheritables, giving us tons of draw power. So yeah, Astamon here can Evo into Quartzmon on either, or it can Evo a Quartzmon either. And here's the point. I literally pick it up and read it, but the room is full of people, and it's so distracting. This is like right before pre-release happens. I have a Quartzmon in hand. I saw the part, can only Digivolve from underneath a Tamer. And I was like, oh my god, if I had just been able to see that, it would have been so much better. But I completely overlooked it. So right now, I was debating going into a Quartzmon off the Astamon, and I didn't. And that really, really sucks, because that would have been pretty huge here. Now, the superior mode, and the camera did cut off there, but the game was over at this point. The superior mode could have been suspended. It could have still attacked at the end of the turn, clearing our last 2 sources, because they're going to be able to play out another Tamer here. But basically the game is over. They play out a Tamer. They use their Watchmaker to give security attack +2 to the superior mode here. He punches in, clears 2, and then passes turn, and then punches for game at this point, which is a bit of a bummer, because it was, there was a lot of good back and forth, and then here at the end we just kind of like fumbled it a bit. Now there might have been tons of other misplays that I might have missed. Like I said, this was actually the first game that we played, and there was so much good back and forth, and I'm like, oh yeah, that looked like a great game. So that was the one I wanted to go with. Unfortunately, yeah, misreading the Astamon in the heat of the moment there, right before pre-release started, like literally everyone was getting to their seats where they were about to start passing out packs. And so we had to like shut down like immediately after this. But yeah, it would have been a little bit different. I don't know. It might have won us the game potentially. It was super close. I think it kind of would have came down to the fact that they couldn't have played the Tamer and also played out something else. Because if they go into Psychmon, right, Psychmon for 2, and then you Evo into Astamon for 0, and he has Rush, and then you just swing for game with that. That would have been another way that he could have won it. But the issue is he's got 2 Tagiru on field. They're just different artworks. And so the Watchmaker can't give security attack +1 because they have to be all different. Or it has to be 4 different color Tamers. So he can't quite get that security attack +2 right there without it. So that made it was really, really, really tight. On whether he could have won or not. But yeah, Quartzmon, if we could have stuck the Quartzmon, then we actually probably could have taken this on the following turn, just because most of these decks don't really play any kind of removal. Yeah, that kind of a bit of a bummer on that part. All right, and here's my first iteration of the red-black build here, running 4 Astamon here in the beginning with 2 Quartzmon. It's a little overkill. You don't really need that many Astamon. I mean, ultimately, if you really want to go into Quartzmon, Quartzmon can go on top of Superior Mode as well. It's more, costly. It's 3 more memory to do that, which you do still gain memory back. But I think probably taking the 2 Astamon here and then doing something else with our extra cards. But the deck is tight just because you have to kind of fit in so much stuff. Now, again, this is just a preliminary build of the red-black deck that we used. And then this is our preliminary deck. Same basic idea here of, you've got the Astamons that go into Quartzmon. Now, I would say in the green-yellow build, your goal is more to get into Quartzmon than in the others. Quartzmon is like a secondary in the red-black, but in the yellow-green, it's kind of more of a forefront. Just kind of in what I've kind of gone through so far, the little bit of place testing, what felt like the deck's purpose is, particularly because of the Ryoma. You really like the Ryoma being able to, if like Quartzmon gets hit in security or something like that goes to trash, you can grab the Quartzmon back underneath the Ryoma and then go Astamon, Evo into Astamon, and then go into Quartzmon right after that. So that was just kind of my interpretation of it. But those are the 2 decks there, and again, we'll probably have some different variety for our deck profiles later this week. So if you're interested in those in these decks, definitely come back there for our discussion, and we'll do that card by card review and just kind of break down how both decks are going to work. So we're going to do each deck separately this week, so make sure you come back for that.